Y'all need to help Stephen Phillips out over there. Out the door and off the radio.
Here's Stephen Phillips.
All righty, folks, we're back with you. Go to Gary Chapman, singer-songwriter on Facebook. Follow all the stuff that's going on with this young man, and he is absolutely a superstar, and we're honored to have him back on with us. Good morning, Gary. How are you, brother?
Superstarish is how I am. I'm just superstarish.
Is that it?
No, I'm good. Very good.
You look good, man. You look good. Yeah, you look real good. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't hardly watch TV anymore. I stay on YouTube all the time. And being that I've searched Gary Chapman, singer-songwriter, a lot of your stuff pops up. You did a song that blowed me away absolutely the other day. I was listening to it. I actually downloaded it on my playlist. I'm gonna take a trip on the good old gospel ship. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah, that's actually a very old song.
Yeah,
that I resurrected years ago. And changed it quite a bit.
Oh, it's awesome.
I don't know what video you were watching, but that song actually contains one of my better on-stage memories of life.
Right.
I did that song on Charlie Daniels' Volunteer Jam.
Right.
Like in, like 84, I don't know, somewhere way back there.
Right.
And Stevie Ray Vaughan played guitar for me.
Oh, wow.
And it is such a cool piece of.
That is. I mean, we sing that in church, but we don't do it like that at all. But now
you don't do it with Stevie Ray?
No, we don't.
It was unbelievable. I mean, even then,
yeah.
He was a giant guitar hero of mine. And there were a lot of people on stage. It's just a free-for-all, that thing. Back then, at least, it was just a cluster in the best way.
Well,
and Charlie called me out on stage, and I was just literally a kid, and walked out on stage with my guitar. And maybe I didn't have a guitar. No, I don't even think I had one. I think I just walked out and sang. Anyway, I just walk up to the mic and start singing, and there's 2 or 3 breaks in that arrangement for somebody to blow up a lead,
Right.
And the first one that came through, I think it was the first one. I just kind of turned like, who's gonna do this?
Right.
And I'm staring at Stevie Ray Vaughan. I was like, oh, you're gonna do this.
This would be awesome. There's no doubt.
It was awesome. Yeah.
This one I watched, you was actually on stage. You had like the orchestra down below you, and it was like there must have been 50,000 people there. I don't know, but you was dressed up, and man, it was a cool tune. But wow. Stevie.
Dressed up orchestra. That had to have been some awards thing, because I don't dress up and have an orchestra that often.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, no doubt. But now you've had, I mean, honestly, just like, you did the primetime country, and I don't know who in the world thought it would be a good idea to send Gary Chapman at that time of your life to Vegas, but y'all did on the road like in Vegas, right? We
did it a lot, actually.
Yeah.
We found out pretty quickly that there were 2 periods of the year that you couldn't swing a cat and find a singer at the Opry. They were all gone.
Right.
They were all in Vegas during the 2 weeks around the Academy of Country Awards, and then the 2 weeks around National Finals Rodeo. Right. Everybody was out there because they all would go out and take those gigs for a couple of weeks before, around those events. And so we just went out there and found them. So we actually set up 2 weeks in the spring and 2 weeks in the winter. We would be in the Las Vegas Hilton. We played in the room where Elvis did his residency.
Yes, you did. That's really, how many people seat? I mean, the place is packed. How many people does that seat? Any idea?
Yeah, I do. It seats 2,800, I think it is.
Wow, it was. I mean, every time I've ever seen it.
It was packed every time. No. There were no empty seats in that room.
But I like that kind of entertainment. I always go back like Dean Martin and all them. They always, when they played Vegas, they always done the sit down crowd and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I love it.
Have you seen the Elvis movie?
Yeah, we had Diana Goodman McDaniel in there talking about that. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I got invited to an early screening, and man, my expectations were actually kind of low. I'm just thinking, how are they going to do this?
Right.
How are you going to be honest and really tell the whole story?
Right.
And not make a bunch of people angry.
Right.
and at the same time, just to recreate the music and to do it honor and respect. I just didn't think they could pull it off, and man, they did.
It was a good
they
movie.
Did.
It was awesome. I went and saw it on Wednesday. This is the other Steve.
Steve Thompson, yeah.
Hey.
He's the
Yes.
pretty boy.
Yeah. So, hey, yeah, I went and saw it on Wednesday. Fantastic. And it's interesting because, we were just talking about you and your gospel music. I thought that was great in the movie, how they emphasize Elvis's love for that. And in fact, and his need for it. In that one scene where he's trying to get pumped up to go out and sing, and they're sitting there as a family singing, like, I'll Fly Away.
Absolutely.
He's getting in the mood.
Yeah.
And then he's at that later in the movie, of course, with that Christmas special, he's like, you think we can do some gospel? And they go out there and they do that big gospel scene there. But, of course, as you know, all the music that he was ever nominated for Grammys or awards was all his gospel music.
Right.
It wasn't any of his rock and roll.
No,
So
no.
I'm glad they kept that part in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That was legit. That was real. I've got actually a bunch of friends that either played in his band or sang, background for him back in the day. And they all have all of those stories. I mean, after every single one of those shows, Larry, Naomi's surviving husband, Larry, is an amazing guy, and he sang in that bunch. And he tells me that's every night after the show, they would go up to his suite, and he would insist, quite frankly, that they would all just sit and sing gospel songs till the sun came up.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's real.
Now that would be so much fun, though, man. I mean, to me, I'd be right there with them. I mean, I'd be bellowing out, and they'd be singing G. I'd be in C. But
I can't imagine those times.
Yeah,
it would just be amazing. And Tony Brown, huge producer here in town, old friend, rowdy guy,
right?
But, really a good soul deep down, for sure. He played piano for him when he was, good grief, he was just a teenager. He was just a kid.
Right.
Yeah, it's so many memories connected with it. But I didn't think they'd pull it off. And I was really shocked. One little piece of it that really shocked me was Colonel Tom. In my mind, I never met the man, never hung with him, never shook his hand, have no idea. So I had my picture of who he was.
Right.
I did not see him pushing 400 pounds or whatever the heck it was that Tom Hanks in his fat suit wound up being.
I thought Tom looked good.
I tell you what, I don't know if all the crazy rumors about him are true or not, but he's a heck of an actor because he pulled that off. And I had no idea he was, from Eastern Europe and spoke with such a heavy accent.
Right.
I had absolutely no idea. But anyway, yeah, diversion time. Elvis movie, good one.
Yeah, but look, we had Diana on, and she dated Elvis there for a short period of time, or however long it was. But she said the thing that let her down about the movie is that Elvis was a lot of fun to be around, and like after Priscilla divorced, then pretty quick they had him dead. That they left out a lot of the good parts that Elvis was a cut up and a go on and had a lot of fun kind of guy.
She said that, and she said his generosity was left out.
Yeah,
that you see some of that in the movie, but she said it was like very powerful how much you give away.
It was off the chain. It was unbelievable.
Right.
How I read at some point somebody actually had bothered to calculate how many stinking Cadillacs that man gave to people.
Yeah.
And it was a very high number.
Mm-hmm.
He was always very, very generous with everybody.
He come from nothing. I mean, the man come from nothing, absolutely nothing. And I mean, and what was he? How old was he? 41 when he
42. 42. It's interesting because I get this little app on my phone. It's a Bible app, and so I get this verse of the day.
You need to read that a little more.
I know. I need to read it more.
That a little more.
I need to read it a lot more. But oddly enough, it just relates to what we're saying. Literally, the verse was Proverbs 11:24, and it says this: "As one gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want." But that first part there, I think that kind of defines Elvis.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you something. Talking about giving, bringing that up. Buck Owens give you one of his guitars. Do you still have that?
I do. It's a piece of junk, quite frankly.
It looks cool.
And it's sort of fallen apart. It actually is. And I took it to a buddy of mine that does that stuff a few years ago.
Right.
And just said, "Can you fix it?" And he said, I can build it because this is not fixing something. By the time I get finished doing what I got to do to it, I have built it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll just hang it on the wall and kind of let it live. But yeah, he did. He gave me one of those, his famous red, white, and blue guitar.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Well, it looked good on stage.
He was a sweet man. He was nice to me.
Yeah, he was another big star, no doubt. And Hee Haw and all that. Did you ever get to do on Hee Haw?
I did not actually get on Hee Haw, but we were just goofing around one day. There was a giant warehouse that TNN kept all these old set pieces, tons of stuff they had, done over the years. And it was like, just looked over in a corner and all of the Hee Haw set pieces were there. Wow. All of it. And so it occurred to me that we would be idiots to not do some kind of tribute show since, there were still a bunch of them breathing at that time. And we put on a crazy Hee Haw show. I hope you can find that online. It was so much fun. We did the whole thing. We did the cornfield. We did all of it. And then we had, what came out of it was Grandpa Jones. Grandpa Jones and I became very, very, very good friends. We did a regular segment, a weekly segment called Ask Grandpa. He couldn't hear squat, right? But he made that into a shtick. That was his Mel Tillis stuttering. Basically, he made it work for him. So we would sit with a couple of rocking chairs on a front porch looking set, and just kind of rock. And we would take questions from the audience. But he never answered one stinking question. No. He would go off on some bizarre tangent, and I would just chase him because that's what I love to do. And we had some moments that were so funny and so precious. We became really good friends. I actually spoke at his funeral, and it just, oh my goodness, that man was so funny and so loving. He was an amazing guy.
That's unreal. I mean, that'd be an honor just to get to speak at his funeral. Can you imagine?
It was.
Did you get up there and say, "What's for supper tonight"?
Yeah. It was at the Opry House. Sam Lovella spoke, the creator of that whole thing. Sam's dead now too. Anyway, I'm the only one still alive. I guess that's why we're talking.
I know it. I don't know how you did that. Good Lord must be smiling at you, brother. Is all I know.
He does. He does. I had a moment yesterday with somebody that I hadn't seen in a while. And she said, well, I'm in my 50s and I have a 15-year-old. I was like, so? You think that's some sort of accomplishment? I have a 9-year-old daughter and I'll go on Social Security next month. And she's like, what? I took out my driver's license and showed it to her. Yeah, God has given me really good genes. They're not Wranglers, but they're really good.
Yeah. Lord of mercy. So let me ask you another question. These videos that on YouTube, and you're all over. Y'all go to Gary Chapman, singer-songwriter on Facebook, follow him, and we'll get to his new thing he's got going on with the Turbulent Truth here in just a second. But that baby blue guitar, you play that a lot. How long have you had that? Because I've seen it through a lot of different videos that you've
it's a long story.
Hang on.
He's getting up to get it.
Yeah. I mean, he's played that thing forever. And I did not realize. I mean, most of the time you get a guitar and play it for.
There you go.
All right, here we go.
If you're watching on radio, it's actually seafoam green.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry, seafoam green.
And it came to life in 1994.
Right.
I had a 62 seafoam green Fender P bass that I just loved. I loved the color of it. I took it into the custom shop at Gibson and said, I want a custom shop J200, this color, with the only a Gibson is good enough on the headstock. They had stopped doing that about 30 years previously, and I thought it was a stupid move because it's a cool banner logo.
Right.
And they said, okay, we'll do it. Because at the time I had a little juice there, and I endorsed their guitars. I still have a good relationship with those guys. But so they made me this guitar, and it kind of turned into my signature instrument for a lot of years. And then it just started going south on me. It was weird. It wouldn't stay in tune. The intonation was going out. I'd take it and get it tweaked. and it'd be okay for a month or two, and then just again, it would not stay right.
Mm-hmm.
And I stuck it under a bed, literally,
Mm-hmm.
for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 6-7 years ago, I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. And I took this guitar back down to the custom shop.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in, opened up the case, and the guy looked at it and said, "Oh, you have one of the 17." I was like,
Oh, wow.
what does that mean? He said, we had a guy working in the shop in 1994 that didn't have any business being in here. And there's a chunk of wood right where the neck joins the body.
Mm-hmm.
There's a block of wood. That's the only, like, all the grain in the guitar goes north and south, right?
Right.
Except for that piece. It's east and west. It's 90 degrees perpendicular to the rest of the wood in a guitar. And that's what gives it strength. And that idiot had put him in like
Right.
90
All
degrees
lined
the
up,
wrong
yeah.
direction.
Right.
Yeah.
And over time, it just lost all strength. And he said, we're supposed to destroy this. I said, well, then I'm going to just pick it up and run, because I'm not going to let you do that. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll promise you, I will keep as much of it as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay. And about 6 months later, he called and said, we've got your guitar. And I know because it was so visible and it's got so much pearl work on it, I know what they kept and what they didn't keep.
Right.
The neck is real, the pickboard's real, the bridge is real. I mean, it's all real, but
Right.
original. But officially, it was done in 94 and then resurrected, I think somewhere around 2013, 14, somewhere in there.
Yeah. Cool guitar, man.
Sorry.
Well, let's hear it. I want to hear it. Strum us a
Oh
chord.
man, this is a great guitar. Hang on.
Tuning's for sissies, man.
Yeah, it
Nice.
Yeah.
it needs to be really tuned instead of quickly tuned. But yeah, it's a great guitar.
It's awesome,
It's
man.
very loud.
So how many times, man, we're going to get in this other thing that you got going on. You're doing this Turbulent Truth. How many times you been kicked off YouTube since we last talked?
Oh, all of them, I think.
No.
I don't know. We don't even care anymore. We put them up on Rumble. We put them on Vimeo, and the networks that are putting it out, like on satellite or whatever, they just download them from there and spit them out. So we don't care. We see that as a badge of honor, honestly. So yeah, we break all of their rules.
That is it, man. No doubt about that. That's a lot of fun to watch, but and a lot of truth to it. Of course, like I say, you can't talk about truth anymore. You have to have a permit because you get kicked off.
We don't care.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's the most fun. That is the most fun.
Yeah.
We just, in the best way possible, we don't give a rip, and it makes it so much fun.
Yeah, golly, y'all. So anyway, how many episodes y'all got up now?
Oh, I think we're up to 13 or 14. I mean, they're piling up. I know that.
Yeah. So that's it. But anyway, dang, I hate
Rumble's the best place to see them all. There's the Turbulent Truth channel over there. That's where everybody's going now. Anyway.
Yeah. Now you had I seen you posted a thing where you did Riders in the Round, maybe I guess last week sometime or something. And
I did a thing at the local. There's a bar down on 28th Avenue called the Local Bar.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a long-running songwriter thing that Terry Jo Box she's old friends with Miranda Lambert, and she does a thing down there. Terry Jo's an old friend of mine, so I play it every now and then, and it is so much fun.
I can imagine.
It is a great night. It's just so many. There's no dead weight. Everybody that gets on stage,
I love that.
Is good,
Yeah.
and it just makes for a fun party.
But now the picture that you posted, do you have like a wig or something you put on for these posts that you post?
Okay, that was another show. That was a thing. There's a series called 19 Miles from Music Row that a buddy of mine does here in Franklin, Tennessee. And he started it last year. I was one of the first ones to do it, just to kind of help him kick it off. And then they asked me to come back and do it again. And I sent him, I swear I sent him a current picture.
Right.
But he put up a promo picture from easily 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And back when I was claiming to have more hair.
Right.
And yeah, it was very funny. We had a great joke actually at that night.
Yeah.
Because everybody's walking in looking at the poster and then they see me and it's like, wait a minute, what happened? What happened? Yeah. I still have hair technically. It's just very, very short. It's extremely short.
Yeah. And if it's like mine, it's coming up my ears and my nose. So yeah, yeah, how that is.
Hey, Gary, really quick, this is super important and off topic. You notice I've got a Star Trek shirt on today. And I've been wearing different movie shirts this week because Steven and I have different tastes in movies. Star Wars earlier, I had Ferris Bueller on. Star Trek today. What is it? Is it Star Wars or Star Trek? Are you a fan of either one? Because Steven here has no idea.
I'm a Burt Reynolds man.
He doesn't know
James
anything
Garner,
about Star
I don't
Wars or
watch
Star
all that
Trek.
nonsense.
Oh no, I'm fans of both of those.
Look at that, fans of both of them.
Oh,
see that?
absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah.
See,
Oh, come on, Gary.
Yeah.
now you're inspired.
And
That's what I
Mandalorian.
wanted you to say that.
My little girl has gone nuts for Mandalorian. We have baby Yodas
Awesome.
all over our house.
Alpha.
Thank you for saying that because, see, Steven here has no idea what you're talking about.
I
I
know
did a
that, but-
Yoda impersonation the other day. He's like, what is that? What are you
What is
doing?
Yoda?
Well, Steve's not on the cutting edge.
No, I'm hung up with James
By the
Garner.
way, did you hear, Stephen?
Yeah.
They shot Kennedy in the head.
No
I'm
kidding.
telling you, it happened.
Yeah,
Really?
You didn't know about that?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
No kids. We need to Google that. Is that on Google?
Oh,
Jerry,
geez.
we got to go, man. We got to go. I appreciate you getting up and talking to us, man.
I love it. See you guys next time.
Yeah,
See
you
ya.
take care, brother.
Bye.
Y'all go check out Gary Chapman, singer-songwriter on Facebook. Takes you all this stuff. He's got the Turbulent Truth thing that they're doing, and y'all going to really enjoy that, I guarantee you. But this guy is all over,
And
knows
he
everything.
likes Star Wars and Star Trek, unlike you.
I think you just said that. Keep him hurting your feelings.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He even said Mandalorian, Baby Yoda. See,
Man.
you are not in touch.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Thank you for spending a little time with us. And remember, you can tune in every morning at WJULradio.com at 8 a.m. Eastern. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like us on Facebook, The Morning Dish.